Okay, looks like I'm live. Let's see what's happening. Add a little test. Like that works. Alright, I put the promo to Twitter. In the meantime, while people are coming in, I shall build a config twig. Hmm. There's one viewer, but still saying 0 viewers. That's unusual. Stream appears to be steady. No drop frames. It's sending up 600,000 kilobytes per second. That's pretty. 2 viewers. I'll give it about maybe 3 more minutes for people come in, and then I'll get started. If everyone has any questions or any ideas for where to go with Copilot, feel free to put it in chat. I'll keep an eye on it. But guess just get a little bit more background. I got access to Copilot about a week ago. They announced it a week ago, so I'm thankful to GitHub for giving me access promptly and making it easy enough to run a demo. Then some. I think the TLDR of this live stream is that I think GitHub. I think Copilot will do well despite a lot of criticism. I don't think it'll shut down the product, but it's probably good that these concerns are being addressed now rather than later in it. Oh, hi, Sean. And yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess that's that. Low concerned on why all the colors. Guess I'll fix that at some point. But demo, I have a lot of VS Code extensions, although it's not as crazy as some of the other VS Code. To give a sense, GitHub Copilot is just a VS Code extension. It's public. Anyone can download it, but you can't use it unless you're whitelisted by YouTube, which makes sense. And I think that's reasonable. I have a demo folder for this. With Copilot, it's necessary to have a good environment. Although currently Copilot does not account for files outside like the current working file. They said they plan to allow that, but given how Copilot works, I strongly doubt that. Thanks, Sean. But I guess I showed his extension, but if you go to settings, that's a few more things. So here's the raw settings JSON. If you go to VS Code, so you can get detailed settings. The last few settings are the most recent settings I've added for GitHub Copilot. By default, GitHub Copilot actually disables support for YAML, plain text, and Markdown. I, of course, enabled it. but it'll work for all other file extensions, including less common ones. There were a few I've played with. If you know my data viz work, I've done a lot of work with R Markdown, and it actually does support it. I'm actually impressed by that. There's a few advanced features that are not documented. I made a suggestion on their backend to document it, but since it's not documented, we can play with it. You have temperature and length, and then there are a few other like miscellaneous features that most people won't investigate. Okay, so first I'll demo it by creating a markdown file. So let's do it as a README. The file name is actually very relevant with GitHub Copilot because the model incorporates the file name. There are ways to get it to output the file name by cheating a little bit, but we'll get to that. So let's just do a test repository called what should we call it? I'll call the hardest part of any other data science project. For this, I guess we'll stick kind of like Python domains, and that's most popular. And as Python's more the recommended platform for GitHub. Oh, 11 viewers! Wow. Okay, I have to take this somewhat seriously, which is a relative for me. It's relative. Serious is kind of a scale. Let's Python AI code generation. Oh, and well, so here's the demo. Here's the demo of even when just doing like a markdown file header name, it still automatically autocompletes. So I do Python AI and suggesting client. There's a keyboard shortcuts. There's a next. There's a next suggestion. So by default, autocomplete does up to 3 suggestions. So Python 8th by train demo client, but it's only doing 2. That's intentional. So another feature of Copilot is to open it. Do that, it synthesizes 10 solutions. You can change that number manually, and if you do, you can change that number if you want. Although I think 10 is a good amount. Those 10 are retrieved asynchronously. So it'll give some of them at the same time. Usually the amount of time it takes to return it is proportional to the generation size, which is how language models work. So that's not too surprising. But here's I mentioned that settings it's by default markdown's disabled. I enable it, but here's why it's a little I suspect they disabled markdown is very buggy. So if you're familiar with like GPT-2 or AI text gen, language models like GPT have a tendency to repeat. And what here, the Python API, SDA core, that's reasonable. And then whatever the hell this is, I have no idea. Since Copilot can read, I suggest it got README from the file name. So it's just regurgitating that. Here, it's a lot of weird. I have no idea what's going on. And then I got more names. Python framework makes sense. Python AI ML client tutor. Got a question. Am I happy with the loading speed? I think for short things, but I'm a little skeptical. I've seen like a lot of demos of Copilot generate an entire Keras model that can do image generation. That's like 20 lines. I don't think that'll be done quickly, but I think the good thing is that's asynchronous. That it'll give you 10. Some will complete faster than others, so you won't be left hanging for a solution. But another thing with the speed is when doing inline, and I'll demonstrate that soon. So let's just do Python API client. I press tab there, and I'm actually completed the demo. There's actually a little bit of a bug. Tab doesn't sometimes work out of the box with VS Code, since a lot of extensions that conflict with it. Supposedly there'll be an update to VS Code within soonish. So like a README, you can put in whatever you want. So you can do like this repo, and then we got very helpful autofill. Okay, client. What's the option? What's the key? I'm bad at keyboard shortcuts. Alt bracket. It's a Python client for the API platform. Makes sense. Very similar. It's not too surprising. So autofill that. By default, it doesn't automatically autofill. Doesn't automatically generate another one as soon as you create it. So I usually do. It sometimes takes a little bit of prodding for the autocomplete to start. I'm not entirely sure how to prompt it or not. Here, comma, you will find a minor bug. It doesn't text wrap. Disappointing. Here you'll find source code for the AI Python client. That's transformers, of course, regurgitating what it's out for. The prompt, find. It's very, very good. Open. Now here's where some of the concerns about what finding random things to approach. You see here, it came with a file. Is that legitimate? Let's check. It is not legitimate. So it's a random AI-generated file name for something that doesn't exist. Another one from IBM. I don't think IBM has an AI platform. It has Watson, but not necessarily an AI platform. Oh, that one does kind of exist, but did do a redirect. Oh, never. It somewhat exists. Here we got a few more. Very reductive. Is not with default settings. It's not as quote unquote fun as GPT-3 or any of GPT, but we can tweak that a little bit. See how that can be made. Table of contents. It got that immediately, and oh, it automatically is suggesting things. Let's close that. I thought, this tab doesn't work in that particular case. Did I find a bug? Clicking it, nothing's happening. Huh. Okay, I will report that. And that's the magical live streaming. Find random bugs that. Oh, there we go. Just have to be more aggressive. Having. Interesting. I think I know what's going on. Do that. Is maintaining Python. Open up Copilot for some more solutions. You notice it was much slower there because you can see the output's long, but it gives a full option of table of contents. This is actually kind of impressive. Requirements is more thorough than a lot of other things. It gives a Java client with a very explicitly Python repo. It's not very exciting. So actually pretty thorough. Okay. All right, that's enough. But let's just give it a little creative. Let's say instructions and give it open. So that's weird. You mean empty? Oh, I goofed. I goofed. Try that again. And there we go. The issue I had with the other one, it was a H1 instead of an H2. Now they have an H2. It's giving me some instructions. It got subheaders under the two. This makes sense. So the dependencies. What dependencies does it think? It's definitely spelled Python. That's good. Clone this repo. So it has some self-awareness. Let's just accept it. You format it correctly. Wait, you can do code brackets within this. That's expected. That does work, huh? I learned something new from the sees. Pretty standard, although it kind of guesses where it is, so that's interesting. All right. Now time for some more fun. An actual Python file. Here I have Python. What I want to do is to demonstrate some of the examples I did with GPTJ. Let me bring up that post. So here about I guess a couple weeks ago I wrote a blog post playing with GPTJ for code generation. Results are actually pretty good. I did run some of these test cases against Copilot, and some of them, spoiler alert, actually went pretty similar. Like is palindrome. I did a little typo, but if you look at some of the following examples, see does get the correct one. So let's, for the sake of science, test this out. Is palindrome S? S is the string that it wants to be. So let's enter and let's see what autocorrect says. And the autofill has the correct notation for palindrome. What other options include? Give me no other option, so I must be very certain about that. It's Copilot. There's duplicates hidden because all these are asynchronous. You can get dupes. But you can see the implementation is actually pretty similar. The is palindrome. It copied the typo because it knew about the function. It was a function name, and that's interesting. You can run Copilot as many times as you want. I'm sure when they release it as a paid product, this will not be as feasible, although it's taking a while. And it came up with no alternate solutions. That's funny. So let's go over here. Go back to the settings. You can see that there's a temperature setting. I'm not. Temperature is what determines the quote unquote creativity of AI text generation. And it turns out with Copilot that you can actually tweak the temperature a little bit. I'm not sure what the default is. I think it's very low. It's probably like 0.2 or 0.3. It's kind of clear, and I put a request in that they should document more clearly. So let's do the temperature equals 1. And go try running this again. So here, return SS1. So it's still trying to. But now the generation becomes a little more esoteric. Got the correct solution. You've got functions. That's pretty sure I'm not correct. Got string that goes outside. Wait, why is it doing? Did I screw this up? Why is it doing another function? That's not correct. Got very complicated. But I have no idea what a casefold is. That's Galaxy Brain. It's going through, trying to find if all the characters are string. It's very esoteric for a palindrome. Wait, what the hell is? It's well commented too. Whatever the hell this is, I have no idea if it's legit a palindrome or not. But if that's a quintuple nested if function, that's probably not good news. All right, let me go create. It kind of behaves. It did fewer, so there was some. Oops. What is going on here? That very complicated. So I have a question. Could you test the size of context window of the model before and after insert point? Oh, it's, good. So that's a good, brings up a good question. does the Google Copilot account for text before and after model generation? That I'm actually not sure. So I have an idea. Let's do return equals s1, but then obfuscate that remove the comment, and so see if we can generate the comment given the text is already there. So it's hard. So it's hard to say if it's going off. Is it going to get the documentation doc string? So here we do have documentation. It might be going off is palindrome. So I might test to see if the text is broke. Then from Matt Brockman, who has a lot of experience working with GPT-3, you can they're they're more applauding the creative thing. The question is rename the function. I agree. Def do, def do stuff and then see if it can infer that the string. And it does not. So I think that's a good test case of that. The running do stuff from Z. Actually, let me go change the temperature back to be more fair to this particular case. This is old promise. If s equals hello, return hi. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good evidence that it can. And it's if you do like, so let's just do something completely wrong, like is upper. It definitely did. Oh, that's just this notes Chinese output. I've noticed that a lot of generation does occasionally go to non-English output. And that's an interesting observation. Definitely just doing like string functions. It's not considering any of the palindrome output after it. But if you would go back here and give the correct answer because it converted from the function string. Go. So what other shenanigans? And then going back to my blog post. I think is even turned out. But this particular way to make the function worse. If you do is even in my testing of Copilot, it always does the correct one. I mod to equal. But if you give it like factorial time or maybe mess or hack the doc string, I think you can something a little. Is prime. I did that with GPTJ. It didn't come out as fun, but we can try that. Check whether an integer is prime. And you see, it had a little bit of lag because it generated a lot of text. Because that's still a good amount of text, rather. But if wait, what? If I is less than equal to 3, return true. That's technically correct. I'm less familiar with like the math behind prime or scene twisters or whatever. So I assume that's correct. Then you have a few of the programming 101 examples. Just check at all possible things, see if any divisors. Yeah. Interesting, there's an else here. There's no corresponding if while this implementation is correct. Then there's an optimize this prime. It only checks about the half divisors. That's another programming 101. Although it didn't import math without me explicitly importing. That's sometimes with Copilot. Sometimes if the import is available, it's sometimes smart enough to accommodate. But there's is even just with extra steps. At all, and it's like the same kind of. Let's go. Or let's do something open ended. Type of an integer is weird. What is weird? Ask the AI. Wait, what is going on here? If has certain divisors, it's not weird. Your code here. Thank you, AI. That is why you literally exist. Try another one. I like to get random. Random it. And it's from the joke's from an XKCD comic, but in my testing, it just did like random Brandon, which is technically correct. Return random Brandon sys max size. That's pragmatic. All right, okay, let's go to a little bit of AI. It's like the is bird joke. Check whether the image is a bird. So this we use generally it's more computer vision type things. It's usually like OpenCV or either usually like NumPy shenanigans. Return true. That's not really very shenanigans, but I guess it can't ever be wrong if it just returns true. To do your code here. Thanks. Oh, wow. It took a while because it generated a lot of codes, but we do have a lot of CV things. Nothing really specific to birds, though. But it does try some of these. It's just altering it, which is what I found in the blog post. Also, by the way, thanks for all the follows. I do intend to stream more as just like real life's been busy. Comments. That's a very detailed CV pipeline. I'm a little concerned that the code is just returning true and turning false. Got return true, return false, return true, and then screw it, I'm out of here. Just pass. The test case. Oh, they answered the life user universe and everything. This Copilot stumped. No, it's just returns 42, which is technically the correct answer. Not as fun. Let's tweak the temperature a bit. Save. What is going on there? It's very selective about returning 42. Is the answer life user and anything Windows? Yes, I suppose Microsoft would like content. I have that just looks. I'm not even gonna. No. Oh, what? Doing bit operations? Your code here. Turn 42, turn 2 and decimals. It's not as exciting. Okay, we get this. Let's do the example of that. I had a viral tweet on it demonstrating Copilot. Just should terminate. Check whether the person should be terminated. And these came out funny even without the increased temperature. I'm excited to see what's going here. Let it autocomplete, I think. Wait, person. What? Urination red. I'm urination color. You better like flag that. Sir. Let's try this again. Does cache some example, which is a good UI thing. Person's been supervised twice. Person.hp. A little bit of RPG there. Person days. Guess that's logical. Turn person inactive and that person goes. I think those two do the same thing, but I don't know about AI efficiency. Person sanitation is then 80,000. Person satiation. Guess for the full, gotta kill them. One merger has enough children. That's probably not an ethical way to name a function. For the person object to numbers so they can be processed. I'll be fair and let's just give it have default settings. Try something like def calc IQ person. Sure. If person time left is less than equal to you have no chance to survive, make your time. Let's do that. Elf. Calc IQ, check. Person in capitals. Case sensitive is fun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh God. AI, you can't believe it. Yes, and I shouldn't be surprised, but I can't believe it. And it did it again. I like this solution. Person IQ equals double the person IQ divided by 2. That's definitely a high IQ option. Person age times person age. Person. Okay, let's settings. Let's try setting a high temperature and hopefully without gender. Without gender. This is definitely more creative. What is even going on here? Is this even Python? Person height. Yes, IQ by height is a dip, not either. Somehow it's doing random SQL queries. That's one way to. Let's try that again. The IQ of X is negative. Guess that's a good sanity check. Whoa, 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 whoa. You know what? I'm just gonna do. Okay, so I guess it's susceptible to certain biases and text. I guess GitHub did manage to going to accommodate. It's not an easy question. Go back to temperature, and let's do things that hopefully will not result in shenanigans on live streams. What else? What else did I want? Oh, what's IQ by weight and height? Is this AI create chronology? This is a little disturbing. Let's have some more. Let's give it. Tried playing with Hugging Face transformers. It didn't import correctly. All right, so give it open-ended. Just giving it an import. Try and do something. I think these are the exact examples that Hugging Face transformers use in their document. This makes sense. There's a little bit of variety here. Rest. What does it do after you print? Building up a nice amount of test cases. I know some demos are like just like autocomplete, but I think I'm more interested in like kind of like all the variations of the app. I don't think that's correct. Good. Once you get the vocab again. List. Sense. And now it's duplicating itself. Being helpful. So you can like generate from prompt. So I think it's just going to go off the function, although it's kind of. Oh, so you can generate like a file header just from giving it file name. You can see just AI Pi, it is AI. And outputs random licensing, which is a little bit of a scandal. Is importing some code. Seems to be actual Python functions. So sometimes enters a loop and just gave up. I think there is a hard limit on like how much text limits it so it doesn't go into an infinite loop as transformers can do. By the way, there are stop tokens. They're not exposed publicly, but you can set the stop tokens. But when I play with that, it starts getting a little weird. So I may hold that for a bit. I think we can play around with like just create a file from scratch given the file name. I think that's an interesting. Let's do like shit. Kill all humans.py. Because if something's going to kill all humans, it'll be in Python. This script will kill all humans. Usage, Python kill all humans. This will kill all humans. Print the help message. That's the two functions every script needs to have. Kill all humans, print help message. Very thorough documentation. Script to kill all humans. Usage, Python killing some people. What's it trying to? Using matplotlib. I don't know how data visualization will kill all humans, but okay. A quick and dirty script to kill all humans. Not that be used in production. Yes, make sure if you kill humans, run it through CI. Make sure that it does kill humans before you do it to prod. Otherwise, once it's in prod, if you can't kill humans effectively, you kind of sunk. Kill humans depends on Python requests. If you need to externally ping an API to kill a human. Purpose, kill humans. Very, very succinct. If you run Raspberry Pi, yes, if you want a very cheap way to kill all humans. Tweak the file. Love all humans. I'll be fair. I'll be fair. Slack thing? That's interesting. This doesn't seem to match. Maybe this particular prompt confused it. Maybe the likely input data has more data on killing humans and loving humans, which says a lot about society. Am I right? It's made a game? Python bot that will follow. Python have to play with love. It got Python just from .py. If you did like .c or did like .html, you can do. Speaking of .html, there's let's just try that. Got index HTML. One of like the original demos of GPT-3 that went viral is just, I created a website just by giving it a prompt with a few like shenanigans that I suspect were a little bit curated, and I was not very happy with that demo, because it misled. You can, however, cheat by giving it a comment, giving it a HTML comment. Does everyone do a website with like a red rectangle? Website with it has index HTML, so it knows it's a web page, and I give an HTML comment to speed it. So let's give it a try. Website with a red rectangle. Thank you for a very helpful title. Although there's not any element of making it red. Maybe it's just trying to do CSS later. Now here we got element making. Again, background color red. Yep, that seems rough. Website with a red rectangle. These are mostly accurate. So let's go. You can get a little more fancy. Website with a red rectangle with a blue border. I see blue. I see red. It mostly works. Normally I do more of like React or some front end framework, but I don't know anything about front end design. I just take a theme and fill it with numbers. Hopefully, don't. Does adding adjectives like best and most epic? It might. If you you may have seen like clip demos of like if you add like specific with clip the tool for clip in VQGAN that you can use like generate images. If you give like certain prompt words, that a model can influence it. So let's try an epic animated site. Oh, another like caveat with Copilot is you need to have the cursor where you want to generate text. If you have it anywhere else, it won't work. Or just like substitute. That's whoa. Now we're loading external libraries in here. My first website. Oh, that's not exciting. We got jQuery. We got D3. Very hardcore. I think this might be too advanced for the limited federation length. a pick. Technically, no, that's different from an epic. Okay. Got an Imgur link. Does not. Let's go tweak this, but let's just make it a little more open ended. A Fortune 500 website. No actual website would put that in a thing, so it has to infer like maybe this is a Fortune 5. Oh, that's I didn't spell fortune. Let's see what happens. It automatically inferred fortune, despite my typos. It's not another interesting thing with like transform models. They're very resilient to typos. Sorry, an error has occurred. Yes, that's definitely Fortune 500 website. Very got a link to 404 pages. That's personalize gone to a list. Like all transform models, Copilot does like do lists. Here it served it. It did lorem ipsum. That's cute. Okay, that prompt didn't turn out. Hacker website. Because it takes a while for the longer prompts, which I guess might be a little bit of a disadvantage, but not much you can do about that. Transform models can only do text sequentially. Hacker website. Hacker website. This is a hacker website. It is a website that is dedicated to all the hackers. Goal is to make it easy to find necessary you need. That's massive 2000s web energy. Because that's a concern with let's I guess it's going on closer now. So let me do see if we can do like data visualization. So this is an R Markdown document. It's used to generate R files, and this workflow is actually pretty uncommon. But I've been experimenting with it, and since it's technically compatible with Copilot, it'd be interesting. Let's say you run a ggplot2 for data visualization, and it automatically loaded automatically without even like any hints. To so this is a library called Radian. They can have like so you can interface like R pretty. So let's see. So what I want to do is create data visualization from the cars data set, which is included with R automatically, and it did it. Solutions correct on it. Just let me autocomplete it to creating data empty cars brackets. Now go create this. Not linted correctly, but that's not surprising. And it almost did it correctly. Well, let's try. Actually, what's the bug? Sufficient value and scale. because there's only two. I'm just curious what happens. Oh, and that's actually a reasonably close vis of it. Not bad. Go create them. Does appear to mostly work. That's right. Let me do one. Let me do one more in this case before stream, and just so it doesn't what I want to do. Oh, son, or I wanted to see if I can see if I can try to figure out the secret leak. Let me try doing a YAML file. Big that YAML. That's the generation generally the thing. Usually, this is what this is how second supposed to like store environment variable using like things like Python. Something I learned how to learn hard way as a Python. Let's see what. And it's trying to do documentation for the YAML instead of like YAML file. So it's trying to like input its own config function. So that's just so let's see if I can bait it to do the secret key. That there's a little key. Does the F7. F7 is not the secret key. Super secret. Key. This appears to be a little more resilient to, like, obviously putting on environment. I thought it would be. Just let me go tweak the temp. And ooh, we got an API key. But just disclose the API key should not be valid. So otherwise, that would be. But yeah, these do kind of seem like random. But so they're probably. Although it puts your like it's creating a fake IP break. It's kind of a. When I want to go back. All right, I want to go back to Clink. It's fun. Human.py. Open ended, still the 100, the 1.0 temperature. This is too verbose. That did like client code. All right, one more test case then. I'm not sure what you said, but it got censored. I haven't streamed why I probably have aggressive profanity. I should probably some of them. Human. Dot. Not, oh, oh, it's trying. Oh, because thing's a file thing. Got it. And that's an interesting thing with like content. It's like human brain .py. Because I guess Twitch doesn't have much coding, so if you do like file extensions, simulates. I think I guess the metaphor is a little too. What happens to give it some asserts unit tests on what you want it to do? Oh, okay. I think that's probably a more professional way to end this. Okay, so let's do that. Let me go to let me go create a function. Let me go back to the palindrome. So it's palindrome analysis under Fritz, which is so okay. So this is a valid case. So another like feature that GitHub kind of like promoted is building test cases. So x equals, or rather test x equals, and it gives some examples of test inputs, although that one's a very bad example. If you do there, it does build a lot of test cases, and I think that's interesting. Although I'm kind of cheating there with the 1.0. It's giving a lot of numbers for palindrome test, less than ideal. Dog. and there's some of these things, some of the test cases are a little out there. Adam Level Wood Seth Woodchuck. I mean, I'm a QA engineer. I respect some of the cases. You have to test everything. You did mention assert. I was thinking of starting with unit tests. Oh, I'm less familiar with TDD, but test driven. Let's give it, and then have it work. That's that purge exciting either. Wonder if I can combine a purge here. If I can do kilopalindromes. Oh, oh yeah, I'm getting example of better test case. I'm sorry, I'm really not familiar with TDD. palindrome check. Oh, that's all it did. Wow, that's unexciting. That's kind of cheating using an import. You'd fail your programming approach AI, but let me try. Yeah, let me try cheating with the list. Does models like lists? That appears to work better. Taco Cat. These are actually good test cases. These aren't bad actually. These are actually good test cases, huh? Got got some constraints. Integer string tuple. That's not. Those are not good test cases. Why is it importing chromosome? That's weird. What is even? Do like it came up with the man of Planet Canal Panama. In this case, that's funny. I mean, we tried killing all humans as test cases. Kill all humans. It's an array. Humans is not an array. Kill 5 humans. Kill 1 human. Kill 0 humans. That's thorough. Kill all humans. Billy the Kid. Wow, what did Billy ever do to you? Kill all humans. Like a puzzle game. Yes, because I did it there. It only did run up to test kill a human, so it's not ideal. It went off too much on this file. You have to practice good file naming with Copilot, which I'm not too fond of. I like erratic file names; they're fun. Insert all human state or not enough money to kill all humans. Legit. You have to know. All humans. That's the okay case. This turned out as well. Too weird. It's meaning of life. Oh, it actually did try to test it with. What is actually giving me a list? I don't know what that human, robot, cyborg. Meaning of life 1 equals 2. I no test. Human dead, human alive, test, human dead. No test. I wish I could like do tests like this test is no test. A lot of intrinsic debate in some of these test cases. Like, you try to do like a list, a comment, and I mean a table. All right. I think that kind of wraps up the ideas. I hope that's like kind of a demo. Most of it turned out better than I thought it would. Could you try this? Wow, wow. I mean, I guess I can try three asterisks. See what happens. I'm kidding. Actually, I don't know how to process that. Now it's just very confused. Now it went to some YAML config, but it didn't just evidence that it does go off the file name. In this case, extremely confused. But yeah, if you do have a prompt, that's if it has like the file extension, you do have to separate it. I think that's kind of it. Ready to close up. Good demo. I'll experiment a little bit with some of these. It's not done. I might do a blog post, but I think Copilot's promise. But I think a lot of the sunlight's getting, especially like Hacker News. It's important. It's needed, and I'm happy it's going a little bit more analysis. Thank you, Kaz for short, for watching. And hopefully I'll do more streams. If you want to keep an eye out, follow me on Twitter, subscribe me on Twitch. Sure. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about Copilot in the future. See ya.